So, YouTube family, we're back again to talk about more things regarding the Giants' relationship with Shedeur Sanders. I just dropped a video that debunked it, everything with video receipts, paper receipts. It's undefeated right now. I don't know which one of these videos are going to be uploaded first, but you guys go subscribe to Osmo Hip Hop Live, go to the video section and look for where I debunked it. The Giants claiming that Shedeur didn't have a great meeting, and Deion Sanders even responded to it as well. But before we get started, this guy on the screen name is John Sigler. He's been reporting and writing some lies about Shedeur and the Sanders family nonstop. He works as a writer for the New Orleans Saints. Don't let that part go over your head. You know, the Saints who bypassed Shedeur in the second round to draft Tyler Sobo, who was barely a fifth-round pick, but he gets drafted second-round pick. These owners would sacrifice millions of dollars just to not get us. But we're going to show you who this scrub on the camera screen is and Brian Dable. But before we get started, you already know, man, hit me with my theme song, man. So I got this situation here that's been going crazy. A lot of people are finding ways to tear down Shedeur more as if they didn't embarrass him enough. But we know if the Mayo community, embarrassing us is not enough. We have to be in an alleged casket for them to be satisfied. As we learned from OJs and others, even when you're in that casket, it's not enough for them. They're born a certain way. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So they're now claiming that Shedeur was pissed at the Giants. Yet Shedeur's been an open person on how he feels about said team. We already had to cover up the lies they did with actual proof, how they claim Shedeur had a terrible meeting with the Giants, which we never heard about it until now. They're trying to come out with these lies when they already said other things and they could have bring this up. But if Mayo people say it, then they're correct. So writers like John Sigler, he presented these articles out here, which I'm going to show to you guys. This disgusting dude, allegedly, educational purpose, whatever. Man, it's not alleged. These people don't like us. They write reports without fact checking, without researching. So with no proof, he prints out this article over here. The New Orleans Saints passed on Shedeur Sanders like every other NFL team did through 2025 NFL draft's first 4 rounds. The Saints spent 6 picks before Shedeur went to the Cleveland Browns at the 144 overall, including a second round choice, the scrub Mayo quarterback in Louisville called Tyler Sow. He was a popular pick for the Saints in the mock drafts, which is Shedeur they're talking about. So why did the Colorado Passers fall so far down the board? Now he's playing stupid. Now this guy's playing semantics like he don't know why. So he wrote, this poor interview experience with the Giants may explain it. And mind I tell you guys, he has no proof. He's just listening to anonymous sources. He's not giving you an actual source of who told him, but we're supposed to believe that Shedeur had a bad experience because he says so. Like I told y'all, bro, when these scrub Mayo people in the comments be like, bro, why do you talk about this? And why do you bring this? Why don't you go conduct proper research with your own Mayo journalist? Why you don't go crying to this guy, John Sigler, and asking him, why did he report this with no source? Because everything I report, I source myself up. I learned it from your Mayo professors at these college universities. They told us to source up. Hell, even my drill sergeants told me that in boot camp. You feel me? If you're going to call people out, you have to have substantial facts to stand in or have anything credible. But let's go more with this. He said this poor interview experience with the Giants may explain it. The New York Post, Richer, which I know. First of all, the New York Post is one of the most racist practices of a publication you'll ever meet. That's not even my words. You guys can go Google that yourself. It's a disgusting syndicated platform that's been here damn near, over a century now. They do not like us as well, and they get paid more to do hit pieces on us. This is facts. I double, triple dare them to sue me for that, and I'll bring all the receipts and proof of the new. I've been reading the New York Post since I read the USA Today when I was in elementary school. I know these Mayo people. Shout out to my beautiful queen mother who taught me about these people and said, always be leery and beware of these people. They'll come in as friends and they'll bite you in the back. But let's go forward. So the poor interview, they report that he he and the Giants left the private meeting feeling like they weren't good fit together. But if this was true, then why did Brian Daboll go around giving daps and hugs to Shedeur and pretending to be his friend like this right here? That was after the so-called bad meeting they had, but these guys would do anything to ridicule us, to make themselves look like better than. This is why they have all these whitewashing throughout history, so they can enable their young ones to feel more superior and advanced than you. But all it takes for you to know who these Mayo people are, just go be cool with some of them, go around them, and you'll see a lot of them are nitwits. Let's just be real, dumber than a rock. But yet they raise themselves to believe no matter how educated you are, smarter than them you are, more money, they think because of their complexion, they're more far greater than you. And that's their downfall. No wonder a lot of them unalive themselves, because the reality sinks in when other nationalities are far advanced than them and their young seeds. But let's keep going, man. So part 2 says the former Colorado star reportedly failed to identify errors in his mock playbook install set as part of the Giants pre-draft interview process, which is a common practice in the NFL, according to Sports Illustrated Albert Breer. Now, the Giants, one, they give players an install and there are mistakes intentionally put in the install. First, right there, if there's mistakes intentionally put there, then how did Jackson Dart pass this? Or if Jackson Dart passed this so-called test, why not bring this up? Well, Jackson Dart did better because you people love yourselves far better than us. We know if this was true about Shedeur and this type of meeting went on with these type of mock playbooks, you would have been talking about how beautiful and wonderful Jackson Dart, the overrated quarterback, did, but you didn't. You only put this thing out here to negate the fact that Shedeur is a great man, a great player, but you wanted a false alternative narrative that he's somewhat of a dumb player. It's always the IQ with you people. Yes, I meant it in every way of disrespect when I said you people. Now, the Giants, one, they give in the players install, and there are mistakes intentionally put in the install, Beer said via 98. In fact, I don't want to hear from Sports Illustrated Albert Beer. You know what? I'm done reading that part of the article because you don't represent the NFL. You're not part of the Giants organization. Once again, they don't cite their source of who they heard this from. We're supposed to listen to them, the writer John Sigler, and we're supposed to listen to this Sports Illustrated numbnut because they're Mayo and they say so, which is weird. They just think because how they look in their appearance and that we're so much of pathetic that we're just going to believe them. And that's the problem with journalists today. There are no real journalists anymore. If there's no free, like I guess the founding fathers, like a Benjamin Franklin once said, when there are no more free press, you have no more country. But these people don't even believe in their own founding fathers. They let a little knee-grumps like me have more faith in their own founding fathers than they do. Because like other Mayos know, the worst thing to Mayo people are other Mayo people. This is factual. Now let's fast forward. It says that lines up with a report from Todd McShay. Hold on, bro. So you people are taking reports from the drunken master Todd McShay? The drunken master Todd McShay, who says Pat Mahomes is he's more of a 3rd round pick to 4th round pick. That Todd McShay, the one who said Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver or a specialist on a special team. He's not even a 5th round selection. That Todd McShay, the drunken master Todd McShay that got let go by ESPN when we clearly seen him drunk. I'm not going to say allegedly. I triple dare him to sue me. We seen that drunken master clown drunk on a syndicated network like ESPN. And that, I told you, they're Mayo and they say so. I only bring receipts here. The scripture says precepts upon precepts. So if you don't have things to back up what you say, you're just an idiot trying to usurp your authority over us. You know, so let's read it more from the drunken master Todd McShay that they got their so-called talking points from. So Todd McShay and his clan fans, they on the Ringer, another hatred of melanated people, the Ringer, they said Shedeur didn't have a great interview of Brian Daboll. In a private visit, an install package came in. Preparation wasn't there for it. He got called out on it. Didn't like that. Brian didn't appreciate him not liking it. Yet Brian Daboll was the same guy claiming when young quarterbacks come in, he admits that it will be different for them. He admits that they'll have to adjust, and he'll do it. So why he has a problem with Shedeur when he said this about Jackson Dart and all young players who enter the NFL after the draft?
Easier, or is it also? Thank you.
Yep. So there's a learning curve and a process we go through with all young players. DJ Bless one is the best one. Don't you ever forget that. I use receipts and everything, because if I don't use receipts and substantiate proof, I'm just one of you Mayo clowns usurping your supremacy. And we don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's 2025. We stopped looking at you guys as this great thing for the last 200 years to 300 years. We know your group of people whitewash everything. So let's go more. So did the Saints also have experience that soured them on Sanders? We can't say. It was never reported that he met with the team on one-on-one for their 30 official visits like they did with the Giants. What's clear is that the Saints showed significant less public interest in Sanders throughout the process leading up to the draft. So in that very article that John Sigler wrote, that it never was proven that the Saints had anything to do with Shedeur, but yet he started his article with this right here. Look what John Sigler wrote. He started the article with, even though they were high, Shedeur was high on their board. So there's no proof Saints even met with Shedeur one-on-one, but according to you, John, Shedeur was high on their board. You Mayo people literally say anything, if anything, to fit your needs, bro. It's disgusting. Like, I get told about journalism from you people, but for the last 10 years on the internet, I've been debunking the myth of the mythical Mayo people, the majestic Mayo, the far greater intelligent than everyone else on planet Earth. The Mayo people, you know, just like the Hicks on out back, who's just touching their cousins or whatever, and they get to tell us they're smarter than us. I don't even want to read part 4 of the article, because when you read it, you realize these people will say anything to tarnish who you are as an individual. And that's by far the most sickening about these group of people. Now, if you're Mayo, you're not one of them, then you know I'm not talking about you. But for every Mayo and stepping fetching Negrums that get mad with what blessed ones say, like the scripture tells us, that's just the truth being like a sword that's cutting you, and you feel uncomfortable. So when I read this, it says maybe they did meet with Sanders and were more transparent about what they expected going into. You see how disgusting this is? So they know that he acknowledged he don't know if they ever met Shedeur. So he goes in a diatribe about how maybe they did meet him and maybe Shedeur overwhelmingly did bad in the interview. That's why I'm not reading the rest. You can pause it and read it yourself. But that's the disgusting behavior of these people. The one who really suffer from intelligence deficiency is a lot of you Mayo people, because you can't get over, you can't get over who you are. I want to show you guys something that was written by James Baldwin. Let me show you something right quick. Because this thing I read when I was younger, it spoke volume to a majority of Mayo people and what they suffer from. I guess some of you guys can feel sorry for them. I guess. I'm not saying I in particular feel sorry for them, but I want you guys to read something that's important. We're not going anywhere until I can bring it out and about for you guys to read. Because when I read this many moons ago, it made sense. And it says this right here. This is what James Baldwin told the world. I will state flatly that the bulk of this country's Mayo population impresses me and has so impressed me for a very long time as being beyond any conceivable hope of moral rehabilitation. They have been Mayo, if I may say so put it. Too long they've been Mayo. They have been married to the lie of Mayo supremacy too long. The effect in the personalities, their lives, their grasp of reality. And it's true. So that's why you hear some of them using outdated, stereotypical racial things at us, like you don't have a father, you have a criminal record, yet we're the better Americans than them. Majority of my family and yours fought for this country, especially me. We've been in all the wars. They've done all type of atrocities to us and tell us to forget about it. Meanwhile, they celebrate all the atrocities that happen to them every damn day. So these people can't conduct themselves properly on earth. This is why I implore all great people, including Mayo people who are great, Negrons people like me who are great, and all the other nations who are great people, to go back to the Most High. That's the only way of proper salvation, because we're around and surrounded around. Because listen, the scripture tells us the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And right now, these people are the power structure. Don't mean just because they're the power structure don't mean they're better than you and I, but don't negate that part of the story here. They are the power structure, meaning everything you see and perceive a certain way is not that certain way, because they change the dynamic of things to fit their narratives. Never forget that. They cry about what I do and what I put out there, but you'll never see them hold each other accountable for their racial biasness, for their nasty ways they come at us. They never will, because they're not ready to be that way, genetically or whatever, allegedly. You guys can dig into that and do it for yourself. But if you have anything to say to me about this video, be in the comment sections, because unlike your favorite YouTuber, I rebuttal back and I match the same energy with same energy. I'm not your favorite YouTuber. I'm your family member, and family tells you the truth. Your favorite YouTuber lies for monetization. He lies, or she lies, for sponsorship. I only have one sponsor, and that's the Most High. That's it. We're not brought to you by anybody but me, myself, and I. Ladies and gentlemen, never forget, this is deeper than football and is bigger than football. I'm DJ Bless, one of the best one. Never forget what I told y'all, man. Love your family, love your kids, and definitely, truly, indeed, never forget to stay blessed, man.